Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alex once again, bringing you some more fun-free drumming ideas. For this week's lesson, we're going to rein it back in a tiny bit. It's going to be a little bit easier than last week. It's aimed at sort of just above beginner level. We'll be playing some quarter note drum beats between the kick snare and the hi-hats, like boom, snare, tick, boom, snare. A couple of loft beats as eighth notes on the kick drum, and then later on the snare drum. But what we're going to mainly focus on is beats 3 and 4 of the second measure, where we're going to inject some 16th notes, which are going to feel pretty fast, because it's 4 times as fast as your quarter notes. So if you like what you saw in the intro and you want to give it a crack, stick around and I shall break it down. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to start off just by learning the basic groove. So we've got a 2-measure sequence. The first bar for this first section is always going to be bass, snare, tick, bass, snare. So if we're counting it, we've got quarter notes on the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass drum number 1, snare drum on number 2. On the and of beat 3, we're going to get a bass drum. So you're going to get this 1, 2, 3, and then for beat 4, a snare drum. So just that groove on its own. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's a really cool beat just if you want to speed it up. So you go. It's a really popular groove. You've probably heard it in loads of different songs. And the idea is we're going to sort of start the next bar. Again, we're going to start off with the bass drum on beat 1, a snare drum on beat 2, and then we're going to play solid 16th notes with our hands in these sort of various patterns. So if we start off with a really easy one, so this is measure 2 we're going to focus on. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So we're always going to have the bass drum on beat 3, and our hands are going to be laying on top of that. So our first right hand, right, left, that right's going to be with the kick drum, and if we're counting it, 3, E, and then the same thing on the snare drum, 4, E, and minus the kick drum. So the first exercise, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Alright, so what I'll do, I'm just going to play this a couple of different speeds, quite slow, quite fast. We'll pop up there. That's the basic concept. Once we've got that down, we can just blitz through the remaining 3 patterns at the end. So here we go. Alright, so as you can see, when you start getting the speed up, obviously the faster you're playing your groove of quarter notes, you're going to go pretty fast when it gets to those 16th notes. So it's a great exercise for getting your single stroke 16th notes down. And if you're just starting out, just do it in short bursts like we're just doing here. And obviously you're moving between the snare drum and the hi-hat. So that sounds pretty cool. Right, what we're going to do, everything else remains exactly the same. All we're going to do is play around now with beats 3 and 4. So we'll just go through those ideas individually. It'll gradually get slightly more difficult as we go along. The second idea I had is we're going to play the 3 and the E up on the hi-hat, then the and the and the 4 and the E and the and the down on the snare drum. So we're going to get 3 E and 4 E. Alright, so I'm going to blast through these nice and quick. So with the groove. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 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 Alright, so let's just nip up there. I'll play this a bit slow and then pretty quick, and then we'll move on to the next one. Here we go. Moving on to the third idea, it gets a little bit trickier here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play 3 and the E on the hi-hat, the and the upbeat 3 on the snare drum, the 4 and the E on the hi-hat, and the and the upbeat 4 on the hi-hat. So we're going to get this 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E. So let's chuck that into some groove. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E. Let's now do exactly the same with this one as we did with the last 2. Slow, then fast. so moving on to the final pattern. I really like this one, it sounds pretty cool. Sort of stole it from Travis Barker a tiny bit, and it goes 3E and a 4E. You play the first 6 notes on the hi-hat and then the last 2 on the snare drum, you get this cool sort of displaced snare groove thing. So one more time, 3E and a 4E, and down in a groove. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and a 4, yeah. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and a 4, yeah. You know where we're going with this. Bit faster. Okay, so that's all 4 ideas down. Now the cool thing you want to do with this is try and mix them up a tiny bit and see if you can integrate them into some of the grooves that you already know. So it works okay with 8th notes as well. I think it has a bit of a bigger impact when you're playing with quarter notes, because obviously that sort of bump up in speed sort of stands out a tiny bit more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an alternative opening drum beat. So instead of playing bass, snare, tick, bass, snare, you can sort of move that snare drum back as well. So you get 1, 2, 3 and 4 and this gives the whole sort of idea a new flavour. So if I just go through each one of those patterns with that groove, you can see how to mix it up a tiny bit. So here we go. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 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 4, yeah. So what I'm going to do now, before I say goodbye, is just go up there, blast out some of these ideas. I'll put a little sequence together, I'll go through each one individually with both like the standard groove and then this sort of slightly different one. But like I said, you can mix it up and do whatever you want with it. So give this a go. The sheet music will be written down and in the link below. So that's enough of that. Here we go. Okay, drummers, there it is. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to pop over to onlinedrummer.com if you want to go and grab the sheet music. If you look down here, you'll see a couple of video links. One is last week's video, and the other one is like Ribby recommends. I'm Ribby. There's a link in the description below for the Patreon page for my quick start guide to playing drums, as well as some ebooks, Facebook, Twitter, and the sheet music. So with all that done, take care, keep drumming, and I'll see you next Thursday for some more fun-free drumming ideas. All right, see you later.